Stress is something that cannot be completely avoided. It is a natural part of everyday life and cannot be completely eliminated. It is the body's response to danger, enabling it to quickly adapt to changing environmental conditions. In response to danger, the body mobilizes its resources to cope with the situation. It increases alertness and speeds up reactions. The stress response did not appear by chance. It developed over the course of evolution, helping our ancestors to respond to immediate threats and take immediate action. In prehistoric times, when humans lived in the wild, the stress response was triggered instantly and prompted immediate decisions: fight or flight. It was a life-saving reaction, thanks to which they managed, for example, to avoid being eaten by predators. Only those who reacted quickly to danger could survive. As a result, a special area has developed in the human brain that is responsible for recognizing and responding to danger. If this structure senses danger, it sounds the alarm and prepares the body to respond appropriately. This happens very quickly, so we can react to an event before we even realize it. For example, while hiking, we can jump away at the sight of a snake-shaped object before we realize that it is just a stick. The stress response begins with sudden and intense arousal, triggered by the autonomic nervous system, ANS. As a result of this stimulation, our pupils dilate, our heart rate increases, sweating intensifies, and adrenaline secretion increases. More blood flows to the heart, brain, and muscles, enabling more efficient thinking and faster reactions. In addition, blood glucose levels rise, providing the body with extra energy. Such a reaction was necessary in the past, but today it is not very useful when dealing with everyday stresses such as work pressure or financial problems. However, the human body reacts to stress not only in the face of real danger, but also at the mere thought of it. For example, when we think about the future, our brain can trigger a stress response based solely on thoughts or imaginations. All it takes is for us to worry about something, and our body behaves as if it were really happening and activates the biological fight or flight mechanism. When such stress responses occur frequently and over a long period of time, for example, as a result of excessive worrying or lack of rest, the stress system remains in a state of constant arousal. The stress response, initiated by the amygdala, spreads throughout the body via the autonomic nervous system, ANS. This system is divided into two parts: the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system has a stimulating effect. It triggers the release of adrenaline and noradrenaline, which mobilize the body for intense activity. When the threat passes, the parasympathetic nervous system is activated, which has a calming effect. It slows down the body's functions and restores balance. Unfortunately, if stress is too strong or lasts too long, the parasympathetic nervous system is unable to effectively calm the arousal, and the body and mind remain in a state of chronic tension. This condition is very stressful and leads to the body becoming overloaded. The body cannot keep up with regeneration, and the immune, digestive, and emotional systems begin to weaken, which can ultimately lead to health problems. Under favorable conditions, both systems influence each other, allowing the body to maintain a balance, homeostasis, between the reactions necessary in dangerous situations and the functions typical of a state of calm and safety. Unfortunately, if stress is too intense or lasts too long, the parasympathetic nervous system is unable to effectively calm the arousal, and the body and mind remain in a state of chronic tension. Therefore, understanding how stress arises is the first step toward better managing it and protecting your health. Conscious stress management not only allows you to regain